The unstoppable mentality, the blueprint for relentless drive and self-mastery. Welcome to the ultimate masterclass in human potential. This is not just a story about football, it is a profound exploration of the human will, a testament to what happens when raw talent meets an unyielding, almost terrifying, level of discipline. This is the story of Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro and the psychological blueprint that forged an unstoppable mentality. For many, the name Ronaldo conjures images of blinding speed, gravity-defying headers, and the iconic Siwu celebration. We see the global icon, the billionaire athlete, the man who has conquered every major league and broken every record. But to truly understand the source of his power, we must look beyond the blinding lights of the stadium. We must journey back to the crucible where the diamond was formed, the rugged, unforgiving island of Madeira. Cristiano Ronaldo was not born into privilege. He was born into a life of scarcity. His childhood home was a modest, tin-roofed shack. His father struggled with alcoholism, and his mother worked tirelessly as a cook and cleaner to keep the family afloat. This environment of constant struggle, of seeing his mother sacrifice everything, was the fertile ground for his compelling why. Every single person who has ever achieved greatness has a why that is bigger than their comfort zone. It's the invisible engine that pulls you through the nights when your body screams for rest and your mind begs you to quit. Your why is the promise you make to your past self, the debt you pay to your family, and the legacy you owe to your future self. For Ronaldo, that why was the fierce, burning desire to lift his family out of poverty. It was the promise whispered in the dark, the silent vow that his mother would never have to clean another person's house again. What is your why? If it doesn't make you uncomfortable, if it doesn't make you weep, it's not big enough. Find it, write it down, and let it become the fuel for your unstoppable mentality. The poverty was not a burden, it was a catalyst. It instilled in him a profound appreciation for hard work and a deep-seated fear of returning to that life. This fear, when channeled correctly, transforms into a relentless drive. He saw football not as a game, but as a vehicle for salvation. The first major test of his mentality came at the age of 12. He was spotted by a scout from Sporting CP and was offered a chance to move to Lisbon, hundreds of miles away from his family. For a boy who had never been away from his mother, this was a terrifying proposition. Imagine a skinny, heavily accented boy from a small island, suddenly thrust into the competitive, often cruel environment of a big city academy. He was mocked for his Madeiran accent, he was homesick, and he was alone. Many children would have crumbled, but Ronaldo did not. The path to greatness is paved with moments of profound discomfort. You will be mocked, you will be lonely, you will feel like an outsider. This is not a sign that you are on the wrong path, it is a sign that you are on the right path. Comfort is the silent killer of potential. If you are not willing to endure the temporary pain of isolation, of being the odd one out, of being misunderstood, then you are not truly committed to your extraordinary goal. Ronaldo understood this instinctively. He cried himself to sleep, but he woke up and trained harder. He used the mockery of his accent as a reason to prove them wrong on the pitch. The moment you choose growth over comfort, you choose destiny over mediocrity. It was during this period that the foundation of his legendary work ethic was laid. He was determined to be the best, not just to succeed, but to silence the voices of doubt. He would train long after his teammates had gone home, practicing his dribbling, his shooting, and his physical conditioning. Perhaps the most defining moment of his early life was the diagnosis of a racing heart condition at age 15. His heart rate would spike, even when resting, a condition incompatible with professional football. The doctors were clear, he needed surgery or his career was over. The operation involved a laser procedure to cauterize the area of his heart causing the problem. It was a terrifying, high-stakes moment. Life will throw you curveballs that are not just challenges, but existential threats. You will face moments where your entire dream is on the operating table. In those moments you have a choice, to surrender to fear or to double down on your faith. Ronaldo faced the ultimate what if, but his response was not fear, it was a fierce, impatient desire to get back on the pitch. He was back training just a few days after the surgery. This is the definition of resilience. Resilience is not the absence of pain, it is the speed of your recovery. It is the unwavering belief that no setback, no diagnosis, no failure is permanent. It is the understanding that the greatest victories are often preceded by the greatest threats. This incident gave him a profound appreciation for his health and his career, and it cemented his belief that he was destined for something extraordinary. He had faced mortality and won. From that point on, every training session, every game, was a gift he would never take for granted. The move to Manchester United in 2003 at the age of 18 was the final, critical step in forging the unstoppable mentality. Sir Alex Ferguson saw the raw, electrifying talent. He gave Ronaldo the iconic number 7 shirt, previously worn by legends like George Best, Eric Cantona, and David Beckham. This was not just a jersey, it was a statement of expectation. Do you run from high expectations, or do you run toward them? Most people prefer the safety of low expectations, the comfort of being underestimated. but true champions understand that expectation is the currency of greatness. When someone places a heavy burden of trust and belief on your shoulders, it is not a weight to be avoided, it is a challenge to be embraced. Sir Alex Ferguson didn't just give Ronaldo a number, he gave him a legacy to uphold, and Ronaldo didn't shrink from it. He used the weight of the number 7 to drive him to the gym, to the training pitch, and to the relentless pursuit of perfection. If you want an extraordinary life, you must be willing to shoulder extraordinary expectations. At United, the transformation began. He arrived as a flashy, inconsistent winger. He left as a goal-scoring machine, a physical specimen, and a Ballon d'Or winner. This transformation was not accidental. It was the result of a conscious, deliberate decision to evolve. He worked with the coaching staff, the nutritionists, and the strength trainers to systematically eliminate every weakness in his game and his physique. This was the foundation of the unstoppable mentality. Now we explore its architecture, the daily, mundane, and often brutal commitment to a routine that transforms potential into performance. This is where the myth of talent dies and the reality of discipline reigns supreme. Cristiano Ronaldo is the ultimate example of a player who maximized his potential through sheer will. While he possessed natural gifts, his career is a masterclass in the philosophy that discipline is destiny. He didn't just work hard, he worked smarter, longer, and more consistently than anyone else. The world is obsessed with motivation. We wait for the spark, the feeling, the burst of energy to start a project. Ronaldo's life teaches us a brutal truth. Motivation is a fleeting emotion. Discipline is a non-negotiable contract with yourself. Stop waiting for the feeling. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Motivation is a beautiful guest, but it is an unreliable one. It will show up late and it will leave early. Discipline, however, is your loyal servant. It is the force that moves your feet when your mind is tired, the force that pushes the final rep when your muscles are screaming. The difference between the person who achieves their dreams and the person who only talks about them is not a difference in desire. It is a difference in daily, unsexy, relentless discipline. Ronaldo didn't wake up every day motivated to do 3,000 sit-ups. He woke up every day disciplined to do what was required. Your discipline today determines your destiny tomorrow. This philosophy manifested early in his career. At Manchester United, his teammates were astounded by his dedication. He would arrive first and leave last. He would wear ankle weights during training to improve his speed. He would challenge senior players to running races, and when he lost, he would immediately demand a rematch, often winning the second time. Ronaldo's success is not a result of one massive effort. It is the compound effect of thousands of small, disciplined decisions made over 2 decades. Every extra hour in the gym, every perfectly prepared meal, every early night's sleep, these were deposits into the bank of his future self. His training volume, often hours longer than his teammates, developed a physique and skill set immune to agging. His strict, high-protein, low-sugar diet maintains a body fat percentage around 7%, leading to superior recovery and speed. His unique sleep routine and advanced recovery techniques give him a biological age years younger than his chronological age. And his intense mental focus, practiced through visualization and meditation, gives him the ability to perform under extreme pressure. This is the compound effect. It is the relentless accumulation of small advantages. Over 20 years, an extra 2 hours of focused training per day amounts to thousands of extra hours of deliberate practice. That is the gap between good and legendary. The stories from his time at Real Madrid are legendary. No matter how successful he became, his work ethic never wavered. He was always the first to arrive and the last to leave. This wasn't for show. It was a deep-seated need to ensure he had done everything possible to be ready. The difference between a good performance and a legendary performance is often found in the extra rep. It's the one set you do when everyone else has stopped. It's the one chapter you read when your eyes are burning. That extra rep is where the competition gives up. That extra rep is where you build the mental and physical callus that separates you from the pack. If you want to be 1% better than 99% of the world, you must be willing to do the 1% of work that 99% of the world refuses to do. Ronaldo's career is a monument to the power of the extra rep. He understood that the secret to success is found in the things you do when no one is watching. This mentality extends beyond the physical. It is a commitment to constant self-improvement. When he realized his free-kick technique was becoming less effective, he spent countless hours with coaches, analyzing video, and practicing new methods until he perfected the knuckleball technique. When he lost a step of pace in his 30s, he didn't complain, he adapted, transforming his body and his game to become the most lethal penalty box striker in the world. Ronaldo's discipline is not a temporary phase. It is a non-negotiable contract he signed with himself decades ago. He has famously stated that he doesn't need to prove anything to anyone else, only to himself. This internal standard is the highest possible bar. Whose standard are you living by? Are you living by the standard of your boss, your peers, or society? Or are you living by the standard of the person you know you are capable of becoming? The greatest prison we build for ourselves is the fear of disappointing others. Ronaldo broke out of that prison early. His standard is not the Ballon d'Or. His standard is the absolute maximum utilization of his God-given potential. He competes not against Messi, but against the version of himself from yesterday. Until you set a standard so high that it makes others uncomfortable, you will remain comfortably mediocre. Sign the contract with your future self today. Make it non-negotiable. No excuses, no compromises, no days off from your own greatness. To be at the pinnacle of any field is to live under a perpetual microscope. Every move is scrutinized, every mistake is amplified, and every success breeds a new wave of critics. For Cristiano Ronaldo, this scrutiny has been a constant companion. But what separates the champions from the contenders is not the absence of criticism, but the mastery of the response. Ronaldo has perfected the art of the reframe, the psychological technique of taking external negativity and transforming it into internal, productive energy. He doesn't just ignore the hate, he uses it. The natural human response to criticism is to become defensive, to withdraw, or to lash out. This is because most people operate with an external locus of control. They allow the opinions of others to dictate their self-worth. Where is your power located? Is it in the hands of your critics, your boss, or the anonymous voices on the internet? If your happiness and your drive are dependent on external validation, you are a slave to the opinions of others. The unstoppable mentality requires an internal locus of control. It means understanding that the only opinion that truly matters is the one you have of yourself. Ronaldo has faced more criticism than almost any athlete in history, but he has consistently demonstrated that the noise outside the stadium is irrelevant. Your critics are not the authors of your story, they are merely the background noise. Turn down their volume and turn up your own. Ronaldo's response to criticism is often a defiant silence, followed by a spectacular performance. He lets his actions speak for him. This is a powerful lesson. Never let your critics dictate your energy. The defining competitive dynamic of the 21st century is the rivalry between Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. This was a psychological pressure cooker that lasted over a decade. The media and fans constantly pitted them against each other, creating an environment of perpetual, intense comparison. Most people would buckle under this kind of sustained pressure, but Ronaldo used it as the ultimate training partner. Do you have a rival? Do you have a competitor who pushes you to the brink of your ability? If you do, you are blessed. The greatest gift a competitor can give you is the necessity of constant improvement. The rivalry between Ronaldo and Messi was not a zero-sum game. It was a symbiotic relationship that elevated both men to heights that neither might have reached alone. Every time Messi won a Ballon d'Or, it was a fire lit under Ronaldo. Every time Ronaldo won the Champions League, it was a challenge issued to Messi. Do not hate your competition, honor them. Use their success as a precise, measurable benchmark for your own effort. Your antagonist is your greatest, most demanding coach. Ronaldo's move to Real Madrid was a direct response to the challenge of competing with Messi in the same league. He sought out the highest level of difficulty, knowing that true greatness is only forged in the hottest fire. How does one practically manage the constant barrage of negativity? Ronaldo employs what can be called the criticism filter. First, identify the source. Is the criticism from a respected coach or mentor, or from an anonymous voice? Second, extract the data. If the source is credible, swallow your pride and find the kernel of truth. When Sir Alex Ferguson criticized Ronaldo's inconsistency, Ronaldo listened and changed his game. He extracted the data and discarded the noise. Third, reframe and convert. Once the data is extracted, the rest of the criticism is reframed as fuel. It becomes a personal challenge. Every boo, every negative headline is converted into a single thought. I will prove you wrong. Your mind is a sophisticated machine and you are the programmer. You decide what data is processed and what is discarded. When negativity enters your system, engage the criticism filter. If it's useful, integrate it. If it's noise, convert it into energy. Do not let it sit in your system as poison. Let it become the nitrous boost that propels you forward. The most powerful motivational speech you will ever hear is the one you give yourself in the face of doubt. Let your success be the only response your critics ever receive. The ultimate test of the unstoppable mentality is performance under pressure. Ronaldo has built a reputation as one of the most clutch athletes in history. He thrives in Champions League knockout stages, in finals, and in the dying minutes of a game. This is not luck, it is the result of disciplined preparation combined with psychological mastery. When the pressure is highest, his focus narrows. The external noise fades and he reverts to his training. He uses visualization to pre-program his mind for success. He strictly adheres to his pre-shot routine to create a sense of control. His body language is always one of absolute certainty, reinforcing his own self-belief. And his iconic celebration is a psychological anchor, a release of energy and a statement of dominance. The ability to be clutch is the ability to trust your preparation when everything is on the line. It is the ultimate expression of the unstoppable mentality. He has already done the work. The pressure moment is simply the opportunity to cash in the chips. We have traced the journey from the poverty of Madeira to the relentless discipline of the training ground and the psychological defense against the critics. Now we arrive at the final, most crucial component of the unstoppable mentality, the unshakable self-belief. Cristiano Ronaldo is by his own admission the best. He has stated it publicly, repeatedly, and without apology. This level of confidence is often mistaken for arrogance, but to the champion it is a prerequisite for success. Ronaldo's confidence is not a facade. It is a deeply ingrained belief system, constantly reinforced through positive self-talk and visualization. He doesn't just hope to win, he expects to win. Your subconscious mind is a powerful, obedient servant. It does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. If you constantly feed it doubt, fear, and negative self-talk, it will dutifully manifest those outcomes. If you feed it absolute, unwavering belief, it will move mountains to make that belief a reality. You must talk to yourself like a champion, even when you feel like a beginner. Ronaldo's confidence is a form of self-programming. He has visualized the perfect goal, the perfect game, and the perfect victory so many times that when the moment arrives, his body simply executes the pre-programmed script. You are the architect of your own reality. Start building with the concrete of absolute belief. This is why his celebrations are so defiant. They are not just for the crowd, they are a final, physical affirmation of the belief he held in his mind moments before the goal. The siwu is a declaration. I told you so, I knew this was going to happen. Visualization is a core component of the unstoppable mentality. It is not passive daydreaming, it is active mental rehearsal. Ronaldo has spoken about spending hours visualizing different scenarios, the angle of the shot, the movement of the defender, the trajectory of the ball. This mental practice is just as important as the physical practice. There is a critical distinction between confidence and arrogance. Arrogance comes from insecurity and a need for external validation. It involves boasting and making excuses. Confidence is built on internal belief and proven by preparation. It involves quietly doing the work and letting results speak. Ronaldo's confidence is earned. It is the natural byproduct of his non-negotiable discipline. He can be supremely confident because he knows, with absolute certainty, that no one has prepared more than he has. Confidence without preparation is arrogance. Confidence built on relentless preparation is an unstoppable force. The unstoppable mentality is defined by a relentless, obsessive pursuit of perfection. Ronaldo is never satisfied. A hat-trick is followed by a demand for more. A trophy is immediately followed by a focus on the next one. Satisfaction is the first step toward decline. The moment you look back and say, I have done enough, you have already begun to lose. The unstoppable mentality is a mindset of perpetual growth. It is the understanding that your potential is a horizon that constantly recedes as you approach it. The goal is not to reach perfection, but to pursue it relentlessly. Ronaldo's greatest fear is not failure, it is the failure to maximize his own potential. Never let your past success become a ceiling for your future potential. The greatest victory is not the one you just won, it is the one you are preparing for right now. This is the ultimate lesson of the unstoppable mentality. It is a continuous loop of grit, discipline, reframe, and belief. This cycle is what has allowed him to dominate the world's most demanding sport for over 2 decades. It is a blueprint for anyone, in any field, who wishes to move from good to great, and from great to unstoppable.